Thank you, Mr. Chair. I yield myself such time as I may consume. Mr. Chair, I'm vehemently opposed to this amendment. I wish I could say I'm surprised by the situation in which we find ourselves, where, once again, House Republicans are trying to take rights away from servicewomen and military families. But I'm not. I'm not surprised because it's their third attempt to get this policy repealed in the last year alone. They tried in last year's NDAA. They tried via Senator Tuberville as he waged his culture war with no concern for how he was impacting military readiness and setting back the careers of many talented officers. And this year, instead of having an actual debate about the best policies regarding vital reproductive health care for servicewomen and military families, they're once again hiding behind the Rules Committee and only putting forward their standard, regressive, backwards policies that continue to fail. Preventing military women from traveling for care when they're stationed in states with draconian abortion laws isn't pro-life. It's not pro-life to force women to risk their lives and their careers with non-viable pregnancies. It's not pro-life to make it harder for women to access basic health care. And it's not pro-life to do it at the expense of women who already risk their lives in service of their country. I wish we could treat this issue with the seriousness it deserves. I wish we could have a real debate about reproductive health care for service members, but we can't. Why? Because this majority would rather score cheap points in their MAGA culture wars than have a serious discussion about their anti-women policies. Amendments like this cheapen the National Defense Authorization Act. They make America look weak. They demean this body. And this isn't the only one. So once again, this majority has chosen not to treat matters of national security with the seriousness with which they deserve to be treated, and they're choosing to use the National Defense Authorization Act to shove their extremist culture war agenda down the throats of the American people. Homophobia? Check. Racism? Check. Misogyny? Check. Serious policy amendments that will strengthen our national security? Far less important to this majority. These ludicrous amendments are why, later today, I will be offering a motion to recommit, not to start the process all over, but to give our service members and our nation the serious, policy-focused National Defense Authorization Act that we passed out of the Armed Services Committee. I urge my colleagues to reject this amendment and support a clean, policy-centered National Defense Authorization Act. In the advent of the overturning of Roe, we have seen a race to the bottom in reproductive health care in too many states across the nation, and attempts again and again and again to implement a nationwide abortion ban by Republicans. And this is really dangerous to our servicewomen who are given orders to go to certain places. They can't say that they prefer not to serve in Texas, for example, which is now the 49th worst state in the nation when it comes to women's reproductive health care, a very fast drop because of the horrible draconian anti-choice laws that have been implemented. And so our servicewomen are ordered to states like this and don't have access to basic reproductive health care. We see again and again and again how this culture war agenda has threatened women across the country, and certainly servicewomen. We have over 140,000 service members in Texas right now, and that doesn't even include their families. That's why these are dangerous pieces of legislation. That's why we have worked so incredibly hard to find fixes to make sure our servicewomen are protected. Thank you. I urge a no vote, and with that, I yield back.